Welcome back to another episode of Private Parts with me, Tom Lucy. This is the podcast where nothing is off limits. As we mentioned last week, we have some very special guests joining us while Liv is away. And today, we have the legend of Love Island, Dancing on Ice, Celebs Go Dating, Barbie.
What an intro.
It's Chris Taylor.
Woo! Don't think I've ever been called special in a non-abusive way in my life before, but thank you.
You were just saying that you find what to do with your hands quite tense on a podcast?
I just never know. As soon as they say we're rolling, I'm like, oh no, where do they go? I can't do it like that.
What do you do with your hands?
Yeah,
I think that's good.
I have the same problem with photos as well, do you?
What do you do with your hands?
Soon as this is why I do videos. As soon as people want to take a photo of me, I'm like, ugh.
Can you sort of, I don't know, maybe can you sort of hold something all the time?
Yeah, I'm just always holding a pineapple in all my photos.
Exactly.
Like, what's going on? Why is he doing that?
Maybe that could be your sort of USP, that you're always holding a big pineapple.
Yeah. There's some kind of internet craze. Like, why is he doing this? There's never an explanation.
Yeah,
it's always,
it's good.
Always a pineapple.
You need a thing nowadays, don't you?
Yeah, you've got to have a niche.
Chris, thanks so much for coming in. Early January.
Yeah.
You have been, I think, a little bit under the weather.
Yeah.
Is that fair to say?
I still actually feel sick when I talk about it.
Okay, well, let's not.
You've
already warned us that you're going to get interrupted with the doctor's phone call halfway through this.
Don't read into that too much, though. It's nothing. It's nothing to be worried about. It's just a routine.
I am a bit worried about
that.
So tell us.
So basically,
so you went to Bali, is that right?
I went to Bali. Yeah,
over Christmas.
And do you know? I don't know if you have this thing. Obviously, we're both British.
Sure.
So do you know when people go to you like, oh, how was your holiday, or how are you?
Mm-hmm.
You could literally have been shat on by a pigeon, stubbed your toe, been splashed by a driving bike, and you'll still say, fine, really good, thank you. So it's like toxic positivity, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I don't like what I'm about to have to say about this situation, but I had a fucking nightmare. Like an absolute nightmare. So I'll set the scene for you.
We love to hear this.
Which camera do I look down for emphasis, by the way? That one. Intense
Show
glare.
your palms to that camera there when you need to.
Right, so basically, a few weeks before Christmas, I'm dating this girl, right? I've been dating her for a few months.
Okay.
Not very long.
Okay.
But I like intrusive thought. I've just gone, should we go Bali for Christmas?
Yeah.
And I think
intense.
Quite intense, quite soon. And I think basically, do you know when people do like chicken, play chicken with? I think we were playing like Bali chicken.
Okay.
And she's gone, yeah, let's go Bali. Yeah. And then it's like some kind of like Mexican standoff where we're really both doing this.
So just explain to me this idea to go to Bali with someone that are you properly together, or are you just dating?
No,
so
we're officially dating. Yeah.
Okay. So was the idea to go to Bali like a drunken sort of?
I wish I could say I was drunk. No, I literally just woke up and I just had a coffee and I was like, should we go Bali?
Okay.
And she was like, yeah. And I was like, oh, okay. But
so
I try not to think about it too much.
Let's both not spend Christmas with our families.
Yeah.
Let's spend Christmas together.
I hadn't thought about that. That is quite intense, really,
isn't
intense,
yeah. It would be intense to go on holiday just any time of the year. But over Christmas is intense. Really
She's Christian
intense.
as well, so like literally Jesus' birthday. So it means a lot. It means a lot to her. Yeah, big time. Wow. So we booked it on the spot. It was very impulsive. And it was one of the things like, we either book it now or we're not going to do it type thing. So we literally booked it. We instantly booked it and then found out it's rainy season in Bali. So that was the first bad omen.
Okay.
We basically left the UK to avoid the wet and just got wet and hot the other side of the world, essentially.
So keep it clean, Chris. Come on.
But
keep it clean.
It started going downhill almost immediately.
Can I ask just some logistical questions? So you book the holiday to Bali together in the same room or separately?
We were in the same room, yeah.
So once you've pressed enter and then it says congratulations, you're going to Bali.
Yeah.
Is there a bit of an awkward tension where you're like, oh fuck, now we're actually going to Bali together?
We didn't speak for 20 minutes. I think we were just both having individual panic attacks about it.
Because I would say, because Bali's like quite a
it's so far away, mate.
It's so far away, but also it's like a backpacking holiday, isn't it? It's quite sort of rough and ready.
Depends how you do it. Yeah, we weren't planning on going backpacking. We took suitcases.
Okay, fine.
And clothes.
In my head, I've
more
never
than one set of clothes.
I've never been, but in my head, it's a sort of
it's like
a gap year type thing to do. Is that right?
Yeah, it's quite paradisical. Is that a word?
Paradisical, I like it. Let's go with it.
It's quite like paradise. We went to a place called Gili Tea,
okay,
which is like not even mainland Bali. So you get to Bali, then you get on a boat. Then you get on an horse because there's no cars on the island. It's literally that small.
Yeah.
You can only cycle and get an horse on it.
Yeah.
So we got on an horse and then we got to a place.
A horse?
Literally a horse. Yeah, like a horse and cart.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So, so you leave on what day in December?
You really want the
well, I'm just curious. I'm curious to know how this works. So, how far before Christmas did you go?
I think we left on like the 20th or something.
Okay.
I finished skating and then we went to the airport.
Straight to the airport
with
your skates.
My skates. Yeah. They're like, you can't take them through, mate.
Check your
That's a murder weapon.
Yeah. And then you were there for how long?
We did 7 days.
Right, okay.
And let me tell you, mate.
And talk me through it. Talk me through...
Do you know you have the 7 days of Christmas?
Yes.
This was the
I think it's 12 days.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, right. Can we just pretend it's 7 for the purpose of what I'm about to say?
That famous song, 7 Days of Christmas.
This was the 7 days of Ickmas.
Okay.
Because I think holidays can be quite icky.
Sure.
Particularly at a certain stage of a relationship. And I found out the hard way that I am an impossibly icky person. I didn't realise how bad. I'd always joke about being quite icky, but I am like really bad.
Okay, yeah.
Like horrendous to be around.
Yeah, okay.
Like I'm a child.
Was this feedback you were getting from her? Or was this feedback?
It was unspoken feedback. She was saying
yourself?
it mostly with her eyes, but I could sense it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
So when did that start? When you had to get on a horse to go to the island?
Well, yeah, that was one thing. But literally the second I got off the horse, because we were staying in a treehouse. So the second I got off the horse, I'm like really uncomfortable all of a sudden. And I'd been absolutely murked by mosquitoes instantly. And I'm not even talking like little here and there, like my whole entire body coming up in boils.
Okay.
It was
like chicken pox.
Yeah, like chicken pox, mate. It was horrific.
That's a good start.
Horrific. Yeah. And like instantly couldn't concentrate. So they're trying to tell us what's going on with the gaff and that. And I'm like literally in my own little world, scratching. Like it. So it was a really bad start. And that got slightly worse the next morning.
Did you not spray yourself down with the pest?
It took me 4 days to find some anti-mosquito spray that works.
Yeah.
The rest of it was spurring them on. Yeah. I would slather it on and it was like encouraging them. It was
what
like,
were you putting Links Africa on?
Yeah, I don't know, yeah. Does that spur them on? I don't know. I think mosquitoes just really like me and I don't know why. Like,
isn't it true that their mosquitoes are like drawn to a certain blood type? And if you have that blood type, then they're more... Is that right? Or have I made that up? I feel like that's right.
I don't know my blood type, so
we should find out on this podcast.
Yeah.
Are you happy to do a blood test right now? We can get someone in.
I can do if you want.
No, I heard that they are attracted to a certain blood type. So
that would make sense.
If you are that, and I'm assuming your not girlfriend, you're the friend who's a girl.
Friend girl.
Isn't that blood type, which is why she was okay.
Yeah, she didn't really get touched until like the latter half of the holiday. But it got worse, right? Because I thought it couldn't really get much worse than that as soon as I got there to take that hit so early on.
Yeah.
I woke up day 2.
Yeah.
Before I did something more horrendously icky than that, I went for a wee-wee. And
is it the fact that you call it a wee-wee?
That might not help, yeah. And I was aiming directly at the pan. But entirely missed it.
Okay. Sure.
Only to realise that one of the little bastards had managed to bite me within my pee-pee.
Oh my God.
On the inside of the pee-pee hole.
What's it called? So end?
Urethra?
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd gone clear to the right-hand side of it, so I had to adjust. I don't know why I'm doing this. It wasn't that.
So how did a mosquito get inside the end of your penis?
I have no idea.
Were you walking around naked? Was it one of those sort of tree houses where it's all very...
Well, no. But the worst thing was we had a mosquito net up, right? And there was a hole in it. And I said to...
And you put your knob through the hole?
I was glory holing all night, yeah. Yeah, that might have been how it happened, actually, in hindsight.
Yeah.
There was a hole in
you see a hole and you instinctively put your knob through it.
Well,
It's the way you were brought up,
from Leicester.
It?
What do you expect? Exactly. Basically, there was like a gap in the mosquito net behind me. And I said to her, I was like, this mosquito net is utterly pointless because they're just going to come in through the hole. She goes, they're not that intelligent. Well, the next day I found out that they are intelligent enough to find their way through my pants and into the tiny crevice that is the end of my penis.
It is very small.
Yeah. So that was and that was quickly
So how is she reacting at this point? Is she going, this was a mistake, or is she finding it funny?
Well, she's finding it very funny.
Yeah. That's good.
Which is a good sign, really, because obviously we're testing the relationship in this situation as it is. So it's a good... And I'll take, like, laugh with me, at me, through me. I don't care.
Yeah.
Like just laugh.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
You're like me. You've got some sort of damage there. You just need people to laugh. Can I ask one more question about the mosquito bite on the end of the?
Of course you can. This is what we're here for.
Presumably your Bali trip was meant to be fairly romantic.
Yeah, I mean,
did that take you out of action for a couple of days?
If anything, it encouraged me, because there's an itch there that needed scratching.
Okay, good.
And there's only one way to scratch it.
So that's maybe some good advice for some people going on romantic holidays.
Yeah. It's it definitely spice up things in the bedroom. Yeah.
It's good. It's not a classic bedroom spice tactic, is it? But
no. But I suppose it depends how long you're married, really.
Yeah.
It depends how desperate you get.
Yeah.
I wasn't in that stage. We were quite early on, you see.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay, so the mosquito bite on the end of your penis, and then where did we go from there?
So we were staying at a treehouse and very steep stairs, deathly wooden, obviously treehouse, deathly stairs. Next day, I'm walking down the stairs with loads of things in my hands, so I had no recourse if anything bad happened. And obviously, I slipped off the top step and just fell all the way down the stairs. Now, she didn't see this, but she heard it.
Sure.
And I was not going to tell her about it because I've seen it, I couldn't see it happening, but in my mind's eye, I've seen that and I thought, no, that is so icky. I don't want her to know about it.
Is it an ick to fall down some stairs? I guess it is, isn't it?
She didn't even see it.
She just heard it.
She didn't even see it. And
did you scream?
No, I made no noise. I carried on about...
You're a fucking trooper,
I went downstairs. I was pushing the pain down like us men do. I was downstairs, obviously spraying myself with anti-mosquito spray.
Yeah.
She's popped her head out the door and heard that and not even inquired if I'm all right. So later on, I'm like, you didn't even ask if I was all right. I've clearly just fallen down the stairs.
Yeah.
But yeah, when I told her about it later, and honestly, I've never said one single thing to a girl that has made her laugh that much. Anytime it got brought up for the rest of the holiday, hysteric stitches.
Okay,
because obviously
good.
in her mind's eye, she can see me falling down the stairs, all jar-kneed and that, straight-legged,
What were you holding that you dropped all over the floor?
Mosquito spray, obviously.
Just loads of mosquito spray.
Anti-mosquito, repellent, post-mosquito. That's I was just loaded up with it. I didn't drop anything either.
What is it about men falling over, or even, not even falling over, just tripping? What is it about that is so unattractive to women?
I don't know, but women seem to either really hate it or really find it hilarious. I told my dad this, and he was like, "Why are women like that?" Because basically, my dad fell off a curb recently, and my mum's not stopped laughing about it.
Your dad fell off a curb?
Yeah, and he's old now, so he's at the point.
Well, that's funny, isn't it?
Do you know, as per the NHS, at a certain stage, you go from falling over to having a fall.
Yeah.
And it's over the age of 60. So my dad is having falls now, and my mum's laughing in his face. And
that's great.
I think that's maybe the secret to a lasting relationship.
I think if
laugh at each other.
If I saw an old man fall over, I'd have to check he was okay before I started laughing. Yeah. I don't think you can see an old man fall over and immediately start laughing.
Yeah, no, that's not that's not nice. I think my mum just laughed at him straight away.
Yeah,
no second thought for his.
It is interesting though, isn't it? Going on a date and tripping, even if you just stumble a bit as a man, you immediately lose all sense of charm or authority. Don't you? It's just a tiny little thing that completely breaks
it ruins the
illusion,
the masculinity of it all. It's just gone all of a sudden. And have you ever worn Crocs on an airport floor or hardwood flooring?
That is such a specific question. I don't wear Crocs anywhere. So no.
Right, okay. Well, you're avoiding the problem that's caused by Crocs then, because they catch sometimes. They just you don't know what it is, and you're always looking down thinking, is there a bump there? There never is. They just the rubber catches sometimes. Yeah. And you do this icky little jump and then walk off. Yeah.
I even think if you're walking, say you're on a date with a girl and you're walking and you push a pull door or you get the door thing the wrong way, even that's you've lost any sense
of a fine line, isn't it?
It is such a fine line.
It's a difficult terrain to negotiate.
Yeah. You don't strike me as a particularly icky
I am, mate.
Man.
Really
is that because you hide it in professional situations?
I do, yeah.
Do you get more nervous when you're in romantic settings?
Nervous. Yeah, I do. I get nervous, and then it kind of manifests in just a really ridiculous, chatty, anything that pops into my head type way, much like now. So I don't know. Maybe I'll cover it like that.
Yeah.
But I think it's more my bodily actions are quite icky.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm sure I can say some icky things.
Sure.
But yeah, it's more like I'm quite long in it and awkward, and I've got quite a lot of extremities.
You've got a very funny, in a nice way. You've got a funny body. It's like you're tall and you're sort of like, you'd be great for like physical comedy. I think.
Thank you.
You're like Jim Carrey, sort of like You're very like
built for that.
You'd be great in like a slapstick play.
Yeah.
I think coming on holding a big tray of food and falling over.
Yeah.
You'd be really good in
like
that.
Silent movies, like Charlie Chaplin type. Yeah.
You're very much the modern Charlie Chaplin, I think.
Hey, I'll take that.
I was saying I don't think that it's such a bad thing the other way around. So I know that girls have a lot of icks with guys, but for example, if the girl you were with had fallen down the stairs in the same way, would that have put you off her?
Well, no, I would have instantly felt deep concern for her health and well-being.
Yeah.
Those are dangerous stairs,
sure.
let me tell you.
Sure.
So holiday stairs, you only see like pavement,
complete lack of health and
stairs
safety,
like that, but obviously wouldn't. No, I'd be concerned for her health immediately.
Yeah.
And then once I found out she's all right, I would... Don't get me wrong, I'd laugh about it, but not in her face.
Sure. Okay.
I'd wait until I'm alone and she's not there, and then I'd have a little chuckle, and I'd forget about it.
Have you ever been on a date situation where it's been going really well, and then they've said something that's completely changed, that they've done or said something that's just been a massive ick for you, and you've just been completely turned off?
Yeah. I had that on Celebs Go Dating. We was filming it in the summer, and the second date that I went on was with a girl who quite early on was a self-proclaimed psychopath. She said she was a psychopath, and I was like, oh yeah, that's a good start. Tried to like laugh that one off.
That's red flag number one, isn't it?
But then she kind of like followed it up with evidence as to why. And I think, I can't remember how the conversation came about, but she essentially said like, if we was together, I wouldn't be allowed any mates that are girls.
Right.
And I was just like,
okay.
What do you mean? Like, you want me to be abandon all of my friends that are girls?
Yeah.
But I was just like, that's just not gonna.
That's not gonna work.
Been off all my girl mates.
No.
It's like 50% of my friends are girls.
Yeah.
I like having a good mix.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you need that.
So yeah, that put me off instantly. Have you ever had that on a date?
I've had it once. I mean, maybe this is going to be a contentious thing to say, but I was on a date once a few years ago, a first date, and it was going really well. And then she had this big jumper on. It was in the winter, and she took the jumper off, and she just had a completely coloured. She had a tattoo sleeve that was just completely filled in on one arm, which I hadn't obviously seen.
That's a great story waiting to happen. That
what's happened there? Which I hadn't seen obviously because she had a jumper on. But and a few tattoos I'm fine with, but it was like completely coloured in arm.
Well, it's better than a small like dolphin on a shoulder.
Yeah,
blade,
exactly.
Isn't it?
Yeah. But as soon as that came off, I thought, I don't know if this is going to work long term.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe that's
judging books by covers, Tom.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that's an unfair thing to say, but I don't know.
Did you ask her about it?
A full tattoo sleeve.
Did you ask her?
Yeah, I said I sort of I remember asking her about it, but I mean, what are you going to do? It's like completely coloured in. I mean, you've got.
What did she say?
How many tattoos have you got?
I don't know, countless.
Yeah,
countless amount.
So you're obviously fine with it.
I think it's when people get a blackout sleeve.
That's what it was. It was just
really intrigues me because I'm like, what was there before? Because also that's a little bit like weeing yourself, and then to solve the problem, weeing yourself worse.
Yeah,
exactly. Like doing more wee in your pants.
It does make you think that they had something on their arm. They were so keen to cover up.
Yeah.
They've had to colour the whole thing in.
Yeah, it's like they had a Rolf Harris portrait.
Do you know what else? Yeah. Do you know what else was weird? Is
that
she had one arm completely coloured in, and then the other arm just nothing.
Yeah, interesting.
Which was an odd decision.
No,
I would have spread them over both arms.
Yeah, so I got to say, when I had one nipple pierce, I had to get the other one done because I needed the balance. I'll tell you what I do worry about though, right? Because we're talking about tattoos.
Do you still have a pierced nipple?
Both, yeah. I'm my belly button.
Really?
And my nose, I've got the diamond. Sometimes I put a chain between all of them and pull it. Only when I'm on my own now.
Okay.
I've got on my left arm, I've got like an Avengers sleeve.
Okay.
So whilst I've got like obviously Captain America, I've also got Chris Evans, and that is also
not the radio DJ.
No, the actor, and that's also Benedict Cumberbatch, actually him.
Oh, look at that!
Right, and obviously
you've got a tattoo of Benedict Cumberbatch on your arm.
It's not strange, innit?
Yeah,
it's not just some angles. It looks a bit like Ricky Gervais, but depending on how compressed my arm is, it does look like Ricky Gervais.
Look at
and
that.
I've got Chris Hemsworth, well, Thor, but like, because it is their face.
Yeah.
If it comes out that they're bad men,
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to get this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to get it blacked out, or maybe that's what happened to your bird.
Yeah.
Do you know, I do worry about that a lot.
She had a big tattoo of Greg Wallace on her arm, which she had to cover up. She's just a huge MasterChef fan. She can keep John Turode, but Greg's got to go. Do you know what? It's fascinating to me that you would get like actual people tattooed on your arm, because I don't know.
Well, they're not people; they're like characters, aren't they?
I suppose they are, yeah. But I don't know who. If I had to get someone tattooed on my arm, I don't know. That would be such a massive decision for me. Who you get tattooed on your arm?
Spencer Matthews, no?
Spencer Matthews, yeah. I think Spencer Matthews has Spencer Matthews tattooed on his arm.
On his back?
Yeah, in the middle of his back.
Like Steve-O.
So in Bali, I think we're leading to what the main issue was, which was.
Well, we're getting there. There's a few other bits along the way.
Okay.
We'll whip through them quickly.
Okay.
Day 3, she kept ordering these spicy margarita things, and I intrusive thought it was a chili on the side. I ate it. I thought, yeah, fine, that'll be funny. Literally 45 minutes later, I'm still like streaming, like can't talk, like nearly hospitalised.
Yeah.
Well, I later found out that it's one of these Lombok chilies that are just like, I don't know, like 6 million on the Scoville. It's like the heat equivalent of getting kicked in the bollocks 12 times or something like that.
Nice.
So that was quite bad. Then we went snorkeling one day. I don't know, have you ever snorkeled before?
Once, yeah.
Yeah.
Once.
How did it go for you?
How did it go? I liked it. I thought it was fun, but
Okay.
where we were doing it was not a very dangerous.
Oh, right.
Not as exotic as Bali, so
Yeah.
I would imagine there are more obstacles where you were.
I don't know. My first obstacle was my own brain, because I dove straight in and had about 6 consecutive panic attacks.
Sure.
And I'm in the water, like my snorkel kept falling off. Like it was an absolute nightmare. I'm trying to shout this Balinese guy that speaks no English whatsoever. I've got no snorkel on.
Yeah.
And the things are filling up, and I'm just like treading water, out of breath, panic attack, and I'm like, this is literally scuba diving for kids. Like, how can I physically not do this?
Yeah.
It was really embarrassing. And she's obviously looking over. She's done it before.
Yeah.
So she's swimming down there like a mermaid. And
You're having a panic attack.
Looking at the underwater statues. And I'm like gasping for air on the surface. I found a little rock in the middle of the sea. I'm stood on that. The sea's knocking me around, making a damn fool of me, which it always does.
Your body's covered in mosquitoes.
Yeah, not only by mosquitoes.
That's a good thing about
from falling down the stairs.
That's a good thing about the tattoos, actually. Surely the bites don't show up as much.
Yeah, less. They do show up less, but apparently it attracts them as well. They like I
ink.
don't know, yeah. Or sharks like. I think that's another thing that was scaring me. Sharks like tattoos. They do.
They?
Yeah, they're a big fan of tattoos.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Well, no, I don't know how much of a fan they are, but they're like attracted to it in the water.
Yeah, they're like a bad boy.
They're like a bad boy. They're still in their football era. And you can't tell them otherwise.
Yeah. That's funny. So you had multiple panic attacks in the water.
Panic attacks in the water.
Did the Balinese people help you, or would they just let you drown? They just were like, "Oh, he's
not in any constructive way."
No,
they were there for moral support, but he couldn't really offer me any advice. Like, he had about 3 English words in him. But yeah, I got used to it.
Yeah.
I breathed. Do you know what it was like when you go underwater? You can hear your own breath.
Yeah.
And that was really freaking me out.
Sure.
The only way I calmed myself down was like thinking I sound like Darth Vader. I was like, no, that's fine, because I love Star Wars. I was like, that's better. I can get on with this.
Was she? Can we give her a name, the girl, or can we just call her?
We can call her Marie.
Marie. Was Marie? Was she being supportive of this, or was she?
No, laughing.
She was just off. Yeah, laughing.
Just laughing.
Yeah. With all the other Balinese people on the side.
Yeah, with everybody else. And all the other tourists.
The crowd that had gathered on the side.
The 6-year-olds that are effectively diving down and seeing these statues underwater, and I'm just there like,
nice.
Yeah. So that was. So
that's good.
That was the 5th.
Yeah.
Then that day, and this leads into the next thing. That day, we went to another island that was very underdeveloped, and it had like this little shack on the beach. I ordered a burger.
Sure.
And it came out, and it wasn't a burger in the sense that. It definitely wasn't beef. It could have been, I don't know, chinchilla, squirrel, some kind of Balinese pigeon. I don't know, but it was tough, and it didn't crumble in the way that
a beef
typical meat does.
Yeah.
So I stopped eating about halfway through, but I ate enough because few days later, 4 hours before we depart on the world's longest return journey to England, which is 36 hours.
That's crazy, isn't it?
It's like you're traveling for 12 hours before you get on the 20-hour flight.
Yeah.
By every mode of transportation possible, horse, boat, cart, 2 aeroplanes, etc. I started aggressively projectile vomiting in the toilet. So I got what they call Bali belly, but mate, when I say projectile vomiting, I mean literally like I sounded like Japanese anime. It was horrific. And she's in bed. She's in bed in the next room. Obviously, we're in a tree house, so it's not well insulated. It's not soundproof.
It's not famously not soundproof.
No, and I left the door open as well for good measure.
Sure.
So she's in bed like chuckling, and every time I came out, she was like, "You all right?" And I'm just like, "No." And so that went on for 4 hours.
Mate, this sounds horrendous.
And then we got up and started the pilgrimage back to the UK.
That is horrendous. Do you know what? In a way, I think the fact that you've had that experience together might mean that you've been through a traumatic thing together, and now you're stronger.
Well, that's the thing.
Is that what's happened?
Well, that does happen, doesn't it? That's what I think. That's why me and my mates, not in a traumatic way, but a lot of me and my mates from Love Island are still pals now.
Because you've been through a traumatic thing
together. Yeah.
It's like those boy bands that break up and then they get back together and they've all been through some.
Well, I think that might be more to do with cash, but
yeah. So on Christmas Day, actual Christmas Day in Bali, did you do anything Christmassy or did you just...
we got hour-long foot massages for £5.
Pretty Christmassy
to
me.
Quite Christmassy.
That's pretty Christmassy.
Yeah. You reminded me of that weird uncle that always wants to rub your feet on Christmas, you know?
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I don't think that's a common thing. Is that part of your family?
Is it not? I thought every family had a weird uncle.
Yeah.
No, we actually got up, went to the gym, had a foot rub, did presents, went for a nice dinner, got a little bit drunk.
Nice.
I think that was the only day. I think that was the day that God gave me off from being an ick.
Yeah.
It was actually an all right day. That I got through it.
So have you come back? Have you come back from this Bali trip in a? Are you now actually together, or are you still in the dating phase?
We're still in the dating phase.
That is wild.
But I feel like we've moved forward in the dating phase.
I think a trip to Bali is definitely going to move you forward.
Yeah, or just totally collapse the whole thing, which I'm surprised it hasn't, to be honest.
Yeah.
But yeah, we live to fight another day.
And now we were talking a bit before about the fact that this Sunday is the first Dancing on Ice.
Yeah.
So you're straight back from Bali.
Yeah.
Skate straight back on.
Yeah. And I couldn't skate in between. Do you know what the maddest thing about it is? They get that literally you do all this training, and then when it comes to Christmas, they give you 3 weeks off.
That's crazy.
You're not allowed to skate because of insurance purposes.
Wow.
But yeah.
So how long were you training before Christmas?
So you start doing 2 hours a day, 5 days a week.
2 hours a day, 5 days a week.
Yeah, but do you know what? Like,
it's a lot.
It's a lot until the shows start happening, and then you're only allowed 2 hours a day because of health and safety. So like you're learning week on week a new routine every Sunday.
But you can only do it for 2 hours.
But you're only allowed to skate for 8 hours in the week leading up to that because you get Mondays off. So you got to learn all that in 8, and it's mad because you learn your first routine, and you get like a month to learn it, and then you get a week to learn everything else.
That's really terrifying.
But to be fair, I'm enjoying it. It didn't start off that well for me. I'll be honest. So it all starts with a physio. You have to go and have a physio. And
is this before they ask you to do it, or
this
after?
Is when they're like considering you, and they make sure that you're physically well enough to actually do it.
What about mentally well enough?
Yeah, they do check that as well. Yeah, but it's more like it's more about your body and stuff.
Okay. Yeah.
So I didn't start off that well because first of all, the physio, lovely bloke, but he set a land speed record for saying the word stiff in my physio, and obviously as we know, if you're doing ice skating, you need to be quite limber, quite supple.
Yeah.
He just kept chuckling to himself and either saying the word stiff or writing the word stiff down. I'm pretty sure my whole physio report was just stiff, and my code name at the time was Cliff Richard. They renamed me Stiff Richard.
What is this? So no one found out you were doing it? Your code name is Cliff
your
Richard.
Code name. Everyone has a code name.
So what? So why is your body so stiff? Because you strike me as a man who's gymming and looking after themselves. So why have you got such a?
Never stretched a day in my life, mate.
Yeah.
Never before, never after.
Yeah.
Like the idea of it is quite grim.
Hence why you
me.
fell down the stairs.
Well, actually, I'd been quite limber by then. I've been stretching for months. But yeah, I'm just not a big stretcher. But I've recently discovered the benefits of stretching. Like I can pick things up off the floor now.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's great.
It's pretty sick.
That's great.
Can slut drop pretty well.
That's great.
So yeah.
So 3 weeks of 3 weeks off over Christmas.
Yeah.
And now straight back into it.
And
the first one is this Sunday.
This Sunday.
Crazy.
Yeah.
How are you feeling about that? I'm nervous for you, and I'm nothing to do with it.
Yeah, I mean, like the skating is all right. So like, I did it for a bit when I was a kid. Like not ice skating per se, but like roller disco.
Okay.
So I got into the hardcore roller disco scene for a bit when I retired from football, age 11.
Yeah.
So I used to do that. So I've got like that says, but the guy at the physio thing, there was another couple of things that happened that were quite bad. He goes to me, like he was checking my balance and stuff, and he went, I think you've got an inner ear thing.
Okay.
And I'm like, well, that's not a good sign, is it? Because I need to, it's where your balance comes from, your inner ear. Do you know what it was? When I was a kid, right, I was cleaning my ears out with one of those earbuds.
Yeah.
And I don't know what age I was, but stupid. I put my head on the pillow with it in my ear still, and it went so far into my head, I seen Saturn. Like I was transported to Saturn for like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And then came back. And I think that's like damaged me ever since.
Right.
So he was basically telling me, before I'd even started skating, your
balance
you've got no balance.
Right.
Which
that seems like quite a critical thing for a skating.
It's entirely what it is, mate. Yeah. It's the main.
And who are you partnered up with?
Vanessa Bauer.
Vanessa Bauer. Okay. Is it the same thing with Strictly, where is there a history of people getting together with their partners on Dancing on Ice?
Oh yeah, entirely, yeah.
There is.
Yeah, it's a similar like curse type thing.
Yeah, so it exists on the ice as well as...
it does exist on the ice, yeah. Not for me this year.
Not for you?
No.
Because of your Bali...
Obviously, I was seeing a girl and Vanessa's seeing a boy.
Great. We'll just get that straight out the way.
Yeah.
Early doors.
So yeah, we just never went down that road.
That's nice.
But also like, I don't know, it's quite a tricky one, isn't it? Because on the other side, the majority of the boy pros are gay. So there's not going to be much going on there with the girls.
That is true.
So I think that like the onus was on me to have some kind of dancing on ice bromance.
Yeah, it's all the pressure's been on you.
Achieved it in the slightest.
Are you quite excited about some of the outfits you're going to be wearing? Because they are...
Mate, I love an outfit.
Yeah.
I love a bit of...
Seems like a lot of the budget goes on the wardrobe for Dancing on Ice.
It might be the entire budget, yeah.
Do you know what you're going to wear this Sunday yet?
I think I've seen a photo of it. I'm not sure exactly what... Like a rough mood board thing. I'm not saying exactly what it looks like. I think I get the feeling it's going to be like, do you know when you see a wrestler that's got like the wrestling...
Yeah.
I think it's going to be like one of them. It's nothing to do with wrestling.
It's all quite tight, isn't it?
Very tight, yeah. There's going to be some moose knuckle kicking about.
Yeah.
Which is like another thing you got to consider, like skating in front of a crowd is one thing, but skating in front of a crowd with a moose knuckle is a whole different story.
How big is the Dancing on Ice?
3.5 inch. Oh, sorry.
How big is the Dancing on Ice audience in the studio? Is it a sizable audience?
I seen it the other day. I don't know how many people it is. I'd probably say like 200 or something.
Because I remember going to the Strictly studio once, and it was way smaller than I.
Yeah. It's not as big. It's not as big as you imagine. It looks a lot bigger on tele.
Yeah.
When I seen it in real life, I was like, oh, it's not that bad. But then they put more seats out and stuff like that. I'd say about 200 people.
So are you nervous about having an audience there? Because you said to me before that you don't feel like you're a performer.
I'm not a performer.
So does the idea of an
classically trained in performance. I'm just winging it.
So does the idea of an audience make you more nervous?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah.
If you were doing it without anyone watching, you'd be okay.
Well, yeah, dance like no one's watching is the thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's not a problem.
Because I would have thought that having an audience there would bring something out of you that you don't get in a rehearsal. Like a certain adrenaline.
They reckon that you're either going to be 15% better or 15% worse in that situation.
That's nice. Yeah.
But the thing is about dancing in front of an audience. Like as soon as you have an audience, like in any situation, any sport, you get a massive hit of adrenaline. Like all this adrenaline is dumped into your system, right? With any other sport, say long jump, high jump, pole vault. Pole vault's a mad sport, isn't it?
Yeah.
Who was the first person?
You know what?
Figured that out?
That would be a fantastic celebrity
pole vault.
Celebrity pole vault.
You see celebs pinging off and breaking their necks and that.
Hosted by Stephen Mulhern. He'd be all over that with the celebrity pole vault.
Jokes everywhere.
Do you remember they did the jump? Do you remember the jump?
Yeah.
Which was like celebrity ski jumping.
Yeah.
So fucking dangerous.
Yeah, but I think it got cancelled because it was that dangerous.
Yeah. Somebody broke their leg.
Dancing on ice is any less dangerous than that.
No, I suppose it's not. Has anyone got really injured on Dancing on Ice?
Yeah, Sarah Story broke her ankle. So she's...
Live on the show?
No.
Or in a rehearsal?
It's normal. Somebody basically breaks their ankle every year in training.
Okay.
Pretty much.
Okay.
It just law evolves, in it.
You just don't know who it's going to be.
It's going to happen. What was I saying before? I was going towards something and I said pole vault. We went off on a tangent.
Oh, about an audience in sports.
Yeah. So whatever you do in sports, if you've got an audience, it dumps a load of adrenaline into your system. In most sports, that's great. It's going to make you, I don't know, rugby tackle harder, kick the ball further, whatever, right? In ice skating, you don't want that anywhere near you because if you do 1% more, your partner's going to be like, what the fuck is going on? For one, you're going to throw them further, they're not expecting it, or you're just going to end up smashing your face into the ice, which is just really cold concrete. And I don't know if anyone's ever thought about it like that. It's just really freezing concrete.
I don't know if anyone listening has ever felt ice before. But it is famously cold and hard.
Yeah.
But
I don't know, you look at it and you think, it's not as bad as concrete, but it is. It's
well, you know what's interesting about because in the studio they obviously light the ice, so it's all it looks quite inviting, doesn't it? The way they light it, and it's all sort of like, a
bit of dry ice.
Yeah,
it looks delicious.
Yeah, but
you got to skate on it.
At the end of the day, that is just a block of ice, isn't it, that you're going to fall on?
It's literally frozen water. The only good thing about ice is when you fall on like pavement, you can get like pavement scuffs and that. You don't get that on ice.
No.
You just get the embarrassment of when you hit because you just slide. You just slide directly into the barrier.
Yeah.
That hurts a bit.
Have you had any accidents during the training?
Well, I used to very early on just throw myself onto the ice every day to get it out of the way. But the biggest fear is falling backwards because like smashing your coccyx on the ice is a level of pain that you don't want to have to go through. And also it's quite like you could hit the back of your head and that's quite terrifying.
Do you wear pads and things in the training?
I wore everything going. Wrist guards, knee pads, elbow pads.
Helmet.
And then the first session with Vanessa, she laughed at me and said, take it off.
Yeah.
And to be fair, I haven't really had any bad falls since
I'd like
then.
to see you coming out on Sunday for your first one, just covered in pads. Just the whole outfit is just sort of inflatable pads everywhere.
I come out in one of those like inflatable T-Rex outfits.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
Or maybe one of those things that if you fall, then it just inflates all around you to catch your fall.
Yeah,
that'd be nice.
Yeah, that'd be handy. Yeah.
How much interaction do you get with the other celebrities and Holly and Stephen?
Holly and Stephen, 0 so far. I suppose the first that'll be on Sunday.
Yeah. Have they been around at all yet?
No.
They've not even arrived.
No.
Okay.
No, I think they just turn up on a day.
That's good to know.
They just turn up on the day and chat, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll probably just see them briefly on the day.
Yeah.
Everyone else, it depends if you're up north or down south. Like the south people see each other like at skating and that.
Yeah.
And then the north people, like very, very rarely. You don't have much interaction with everyone. It's very sort of like solo. You're on your own. You're learning with a coach, then you're learning with a partner. And there's not much of a social side to it at all.
What's the sort of diet and train? Are you on quite a strict?
Just ice.
Just ice.
I am the ice.
You are the ice. Yeah.
No, just do whatever you want. What I do, I treat myself every day. I have an Oreo ice cream sandwich.
Every day?
Yeah, every day.
What?
And it's like,
I thought you were going to say once a week.
No, it's like a reward for skating.
An Oreo ice cream sandwich every day.
I've skated for 2 or 3 hours, so like I can spare those.
Do you
calories,
burn a lot of calories skating?
Yeah, you burn loads. Yeah, but it's more like at first it's more like mental because you're learning the thing. Yeah. So it's more like mental energy. You're absolutely shagged afterwards. Like you can't even think. And then after you've learnt the stuff, then and you're doing the routines, that's when it starts to become more physical.
Yeah.
My routine, right?
Yeah.
Let me tell you, it is knackering. It's a minute and 30 seconds of non-stop, right?
Yeah.
The first thing I do on it is like a double spin.
Yeah.
So I start off the whole thing, I can't see anything.
So you're dizzy. You're immediately dizzy.
Inner ear problem, I can't see. So I start, and then Vanessa comes in, and I lift her up above, like quite high up, put her down, and so I'm doing that, and I can't see because the room's still moving.
Sure.
And then I have to do the whole routine like slightly out of whack while smiling like that.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing, like you've got to concentrate on your face. Well, honestly,
that would be the thing that would get me. I'm either going to be able to concentrate on the moves or smiling, but smiling and doing the moves at the same time is.
But the thing is, right? There's so much to it. I'm going to try and describe with words how complicated this sport is, right?
Yeah.
It's like playing piano
Yeah.
whilst doing origami and a Sudoku and explaining to your parents why you're not a failure in life whilst doing GCSE maths, English and science.
Okay.
There's so much to it.
Yeah.
And like you've got to bear in mind as well, like the pros that are on it, they've been skating since they're 4 years old, right? And they're like the best. They're like the top 0.0 whatever percent of people that are skating. That's how they got on the show.
Yeah.
And then we learned to skate in like 2 months, and they're like, "There you go."
Yeah.
So like whatever you're seeing
It is fucking
on that
wild,
show,
isn't it?
I don't know how it's a show.
It is wild.
It's like imagine that meeting. Like we're gonna do Strictly, but with murder weapons.
It's weirdly like it's of all of the celebrity shows, it is the hardest, but weirdly the one that gets the least credit.
I don't think it gets enough credit.
No, it doesn't, does it?
Because also, like, you go skating.
If you win Dancing on Ice, you should get an OBE or something. Really,
90. That'd be lovely, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
But if you go skating, right, like if you can roll around, if you can manage it, and I'd say like a lot of people can't naturally. It's like quite a hard thing to do. Like you're probably on there for like 20 minutes. And you're like, fuck this. This is knackering. I've had enough. Like it's cold. Like we have to do it for 2 or 3 hours every day, 5 days a week for like 3 months.
Fucking hell. Well, listen, Sunday night is the first one.
It is.
I'll be watching now. Now that you've told me this, I'm all over it now.
Yeah, I've sold it.
Yeah.
Sold it to you.
Is there any?
Do you reckon you'd be all right on it? Do you reckon you'd be able to do it?
No.
Have you ever skied or anything?
I've been skiing. And is it similar to skiing?
I think there's like one move that's kind of similar to skiing.
The ice is the similarity.
Yeah, snowplow is a way to stop.
Okay, so that's
you
similar.
might be all right at that.
That's okay, yeah.
Some people can't stop, mate.
Yeah. We just skate out the studio and just keep going. Once you finish your routine, you just keep skating out.
Yeah, that's how hard it is. It's such a precise science.
Well, listen, Sunday night, we're all going to be watching.
Be there, please.
That is it for part 1. We're going to come back in part 2 and we've got some dating dilemmas.
Yeah.
Which I think you're going to be very good at.
Oh, I hope so, yeah.
Also, in part 2, we're going to go through some myths about Love Island All-Stars.
Yeah.
Which I think people...
Bust some myths.
All over.
Bust the cap in some of your asses.
One of the myths is that the villa's full of mosquitoes. But we'll find out in part 2. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to part 2 of Private Parts with me, Tom Lucy, and our very special co-host, Chris Taylor.
I'm special.
Very, very special. Chris, you had a run-in with your physio quite recently.
Oh, yeah,
for dancing on ice.
It was, yeah.
Are you legally allowed to talk about this, or is there an ongoing court
I just needed
case?
to get it off my chest because it was so uncomfortable.
Okay.
I didn't read the room well.
Okay.
So the physio was a lovely bloke, very posh.
Yeah.
And proper.
They normally are.
They're normally quite posh and proper, aren't they? So we've gone in there, and he's just doing like a little preamble, talking me through what's going to happen in the day. So he's like, I'm just going to try and do like, I don't want to do a camp voice. I'll just try and do a posh voice. So he's like, so Chris, today we're just going to take you through a few checks. What we're really looking for is we're going to be checking your neck, your back. And I've chimed in and gone, pussy and crack. And he's gone, your hips, your ankles, and generally your balance and various other things.
He just ignored it.
He just totally ignored it. And a bit of me died
That's
inside.
Great.
Because I thought anybody else in the room would have laughed at that, but this guy, he's too serious.
Before,
I just thought this is going to be a tough hour and a half.
Is he the guy who does all the physios for Dancing on Ice?
No, there is.
He's probably been through some shit, isn't he?
He's seen some shit. Yeah. No, it's actually a lady that does it called Sharon. She's unbelievable.
Okay.
Shout out to Sharon.
Shout out to Sharon.
She has fixed me in more ways than I can count already.
Really?
In a matter of minutes.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
Sharon.
I had back pain. She's poking me through here. Literally moving my leg around. 10 minutes later, I stand up. Good.
Wow.
Good to go.
She healed
my
you.
My arm stopped working from lifting.
Yeah.
My arm kept going dead. Like it was like, it felt like static TV. Like it was like pins and needles, right?
Yeah.
I went in. She was like fiddling around with my shoulder blade, moving my arm around. Literally. Solved in 10 minutes. She's actually magic. She's like Mr. Miyagi.
You said that your feet are causing you the most issue.
Yeah, the toe pain is something else.
Yeah,
but the toe strength that I've gained is well worth it. Like I can open bananas, I can crack eggs.
Like to see you
I
do
can
that.
make a brunch with my toes.
I'd like to see you do that.
Yeah, it's actually incredible.
Making eggs Benedict with your feet is something you should film for your Instagram for sure.
That's actually a life goal of mine.
It is
to achieve something so grand that eggs get named after me.
Yeah. Oh, you want like Eggs Taylor?
Well, yeah, because like who's Benedict? Like who's like who was that?
Who's Benedict?
And who's
yeah, but
who's Royale?
Who's Royale?
That must have been a guy.
Florentine.
Who's Florentine? What have they done to deserve to get eggs named after him?
It's a very good point. Why are they called Eggs Benedict? It's a very good question because Eggs Benedict is ham. I want to say. Royale is
a guy
salmon.
called Benedict probably invented it, I imagine. No?
What would Eggs Taylor be? It would be eggs with mosquito cream.
Eggs with DEET.
Yeah.
I don't even know. That's the thing. I really have to think about it.
A stockbroker. Of course it was. Always the fucking stockbrokers.
Oh, do you know what I found out the other day as well? So when I was in the midst of severe dehydration from the vomiting, obviously what I couldn't do, because I was travelling, I couldn't eat or drink anything because I didn't want the problem to go south. Obviously I got home and it did go south, like bum sick.
Sure.
And I was so...
Is that the medical term?
Yeah. I was so severely dehydrated, like the palms of my hands were dry. I've never experienced this in my life.
Oh my God.
So I basically got an IV drip. So I got them to come around my house and stick me on an IV.
Yeah.
And I think it pretty much saved my life.
Really?
But the lady was telling me, right, there's people in the city, like stockbrokers and whatever else, that are going out the next day, they're paying like £400 for a hangover IV just so they can get on it again.
Yeah.
What? What do you mean?
That I think that happens a lot with people on tour. People go on tour and they go out all night and then they have to do a show the next day. They all just sit and have an IV drip and they just do it again.
Yeah, but
I think that's quite common.
Yeah, but that, like, you're performing, like I get that. But these guys are literally
just going out and getting on it again.
To get on it again, just so they can have more fun, more drugs or whatever they're doing.
Yeah. Well, not the Benedict who invented the Eggs Benedict, because he was obviously a slightly more wholesome person.
Well, no, yeah, he was too preoccupied with his egg creations.
Not only is Dancing on Ice back on Sunday, Love Island All Stars is back next week.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, exciting.
It is exciting.
You don't strike me as the type of guy to watch it.
I did the podcast last March, was it? Yeah.
Did you do it for like the whole time? Or?
No, I did it one day a week.
Oh, right.
I think it was like every Wednesday for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Which we were talking about before. The timings of that are... Because like you said, India's doing it 5 days a week. And it's like... You don't finish till like midnight.
No, you get back about 1, 2 in the morning.
Yeah, it's mental.
And then you do it again.
Yeah.
She's
basically working a night shift.
No, she is. She's an absolute trooper. I don't know how she does it.
Obviously, you were on All Stars last year.
Yeah.
What is your overriding memory of that time?
It was just so hectic.
Yeah.
And
is it a bit of a
intense.
blur?
Yeah, no, it was massive blur. It was one of them, like, obviously, because we'd all done it before. So I remember there being a period, like, so we're all like slightly more conscientious of what's going on.
Yeah, you're a bit more sort of clued up.
Yeah, you kind of know what's going on. And you kind of know, like, roughly sort of, depending on how much drama there was the night before, like how good the episode might be, depending on what they use and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I think we got about 3.5 weeks in, and every day we were like, God, that's going to be an episode, that.
Yeah.
And I think it was 3.5 weeks before we went, that might be a boring episode.
Yeah.
But that's a good run.
Yeah.
Of drama to get for that amount. So I think that was the main difference, like between the first time I did it and the second time. You're more aware of the fact that you're making a TV show. Yeah.
Does that ever really leave your head that you are making a TV show?
You do forget and just get into it. And it I always used to say to people, like, if it's going well, fine.
Yeah.
If not, it's just a TV show.
Yeah.
Because actually you kind of have to like keep yourself a little bit sane there. Because like obviously you're talking to people and then you find out they're talking to other people and you're like, oh God, this is going to be embarrassing.
Yeah.
And you just to keep your head on your shoulders, you have to kind of think of it in a certain way.
Yeah.
And when it's all fine. And people I went in there, like obviously like not only for this reason, but I did genuinely go in there because I was like, right, I'm ready to try and find somebody. It might not be the best medium to do it, let's be honest.
Yeah.
But I was ready. But people fully go in there with like in relationships. And they fully just lie all the way through it. And
That's
then come
wild,
out,
isn't it?
And then you find out afterwards and you're like, wait, so you just lied to like everyone on production? Like you lied to get on the show.
What's the
and then you just did the whole show and then came off and now you're acting like
is the casting process for it? Do they randomly message people on Instagram or do people apply for
the
it?
main show or All Stars?
For the main show.
It's a bit of a mix, really. Like,
people apply and people are approached about it.
Yeah. And I think it's more the people that are approached that get on it. Like, I think, remember, for my first season, there was only like a handful of people that actually applied for it.
Yeah.
The people that actually apply for it very rarely. I don't know why. There's an awful amount of people that apply for it, like hundreds of thousands.
I'm guessing if you apply for it, then it might make you seem a little bit more sort of desperate to be on it than people who are asked to be on it.
Yeah, maybe.
They might make better TV.
Yeah, I don't know. But I think they do a lot of work on Instagram, like looking for people.
What would your advice be to the people going into the All Stars this year?
I think just with All Stars in particular, just do what you want to do before it's suggested that you do something. Mm-hmm. Because obviously there's two types of people in there. There's people that will literally just like they'll do what they want, or they'll kind of like coast and wait for something magical to happen.
Yeah.
Whereas if you coast and wait for something magical to happen, then people are going to be like, do you want to go and chat to somebody? Because this is actually a TV show. Like you can't just sit there having a holiday. And I think when you do that, they're very much in control of like, they're not in control, but they can push your narrative.
I see what you mean. So you're saying control your own narrative.
Yeah, basically.
Because if you sit back, then they're going to create a narrative for you.
If you're not proactive about what you're doing in there and just getting balls deep in it, pardon the terrible phrase, not literally balls deep.
Yeah.
If you're not proactive about it, they are going to start being like, you're going to do something or what? Like... And that's when
take control.
That's when you're on the back foot. So take control.
I think that's just good life advice.
Because that is great life advice. Because then, like, when you can die on the hill, then because you made the decision.
Yeah.
Because what bothers me is like when people come out there and they go, "Well, that was the production that told me to do that." It's like, no, you're an adult.
You can do it
if you're being peer pressured into something by, and don't get me wrong, the people that do this, like on the production teams, they're unbelievable. Like. The level of social intelligence that they have.
Manipulation.
I don't want to say that. They're not. They're just very, very intelligent social people.
Yeah.
Like they're good at what they do.
Yeah.
But if you're as a full grown adult coming out and going, oh yeah, I got talked into that. Like, come on.
Yeah.
You can't.
It's a bit like I've heard people say about the jungle. They go, oh, I just worry they're going to edit me to look like an arsehole.
If you
sort of go, well, if you don't do anything if you don't say anything bad, they're not going to make you look like an arsehole, are they?
Yeah.
If you say something bad, it's probably going to be in the show, isn't it? Because it's interesting.
Yeah, I think they can't. Yeah, it's a tough one. They can make certain things look a way that they're not.
Yeah.
Sometimes, depending on what they're including and what they're leaving out.
Yeah.
But they can't paint your entire personality.
Here's a few Love Island myths that I think.
Go on then.
Here we go. Okay, straight in with a highbrow one. What happens if you're caught having a wank? Does that happen?
What happens if you're caught having a wank?
It's the question we're all wondering.
I don't.
Do people do that in there?
It's not too hot to handle. It's
no. So that does happen in there.
But I think so. Basically, in the logically, I don't know where you'd wank in the villa.
Bathroom?
Probably bathroom.
Yeah.
And the cameras in there are black boxed, which means they can only look at them if there's been an incident. But there is still a camera in there.
In the loo, there's a camera.
Yeah. But it's black boxed, so they only look at it when something has occurred in the toilet. The rest, there's no one like generally just staring at it throughout the day, looking at people's weeds type thing.
Okay, fine.
So I suppose you could run the risk. And slot one out in there.
Yeah, it's quite a high risk, quite a risk though, isn't it?
But then what if they look back at the tape and they see you going tooth and nail on yourself?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
then when you come out, you complain the producers made you do it. Yeah.
I was talked into that.
I don't think it's worth the risk. If anyone listening is about to go in, I don't think it's worth the risk.
I don't. It's a weird one. I just never had the urge to rub one out in there.
How much alcohol is available each night?
You just get two of whatever, 2 glasses of wine, prosecco or beer, I think.
And is that heavily regulated?
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah, there's no two ways about it. You're getting that and nothing else. Sometimes less.
Is there a personal chef? And if so, what do they cook?
There is definitely not a personal chef. There's catering.
So what are you eating?
You eat catering for lunch and dinner, and then you cook your own breakfast.
Catering, like sort of TV catering.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's
quite
just
pang.
Is it?
Yeah, it was all right. Shout out to whoever catered Love Island All Stars 2024.
We should find out who that is. Who did you get on with the most in All Stars 2024?
It would be Kaz and Toba. We're still mates now.
Yeah,
we still hang. We still do content together and stuff.
Nice.
So yeah, that was.
Were they on the shortlist for the Bali trip, or that was purely romance?
It was purely romantic. Yeah, obviously. What with how it ended and stuff.
Okay, and final question: smoking. Is there smoking in the villa?
No, you have to go out the front door.
So there is smoking. There's a smoking area.
There's an area, yeah. You have to stand on your own. Sometimes, like
panic room.
Yeah, they let you stand out like 2 at a time. But then if you talk, they have a go at you.
Yeah.
So it's no fun, really.
Doesn't sound
but like I say, bring back the smoking area on screen because it was absolutely genius.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Because you haven't got
most interesting stuff happens in a smoking area.
Well, you can't vent anywhere either. Like you have a cig to calm down from a situation or a vape or whatever. If you remove that and leave that on camera,
you're right.
That's when you're getting the gold.
You're right. Or even do like a press the red button to watch the smoking area type thing.
Yeah, or that
just
would
have
be
a live cam in the smoking area.
I wouldn't say it's that interesting unless they let people talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you know like Big Brother used to do 24 hour? They should just do 24 hour in the smoking area. Depends how many people smoke, really.
New Year's resolutions.
Yeah.
I don't think you strike me as a resolution guy.
I'm not.
I don't mean that in a negative way.
Thanks, mate. Yeah.
I think you're pretty on top of things all year round. You keep things tight.
Yeah, well, as much as I try to be as tight as possible. I'm not a resoluter.
No.
I think they're bollocks.
I sort of do as well.
You're setting yourself up for failure, potentially. It's like, why would you need a new year to change something about your life? If there's something you don't like about your life, change it on a Monday. Change it on a Wednesday. Just do it. I'm a massive experimenter. Like, if there's something that I want to change, I'll just do it the next day. And I'm like buzzing to do it.
Are you quite into like sort of fads and thing? If you hear about something, you're like, I'm going to try that. If you hear about like a weird diet or like a weird, you're like, I'm interested. I'm going to try that.
I am horrifically influenced by any kind of advert I hear on a podcast.
Yeah.
So I listen to Chris Williams' Modern Wisdom.
Yeah.
Steve Bartlett sometimes. Anything on there, I will buy.
So you're
it.
a big Huel drinker.
Any kind of like, no, I've gone through my Huel phase. Anything that's like productivity, like supplements, I will buy it.
Yeah.
There's this thing that me and my mate Cam talk about all the time, which is one of the adverts is for this thing called 8 Sleep, which is like a smart bed. And they're expensive. They're like £4,000. But they like incline and they go hot or cold. They
like a hospital bed.
They monitor your temperature.
Yeah.
And it splits it into 2 as well. So like if you've got a missus or whatever, they can have their own temperature and it keeps you level. Like
you can have a mattress, different temperatures on either side.
Yeah. Very expensive. But like I haven't got, that's about the only thing I've not bought.
Okay.
Because I think that's more
so
of a,
you're quite into all that stuff.
Yeah. I'm really like,
I think you're right about the resolutions though, because it's a bit like someone telling you that they're on a diet, isn't it?
Diets,
It's like, well, that's the fact that you've called it that means that's going to end at some point, isn't it?
Is that what it means? It's like a fad, isn't it? It's like, unless you're changing like your lifestyle to, It's just going to end, and then you're going to go back to the way.
So
you
there's
were.
nothing in January that you think I'm going to make that big change. You're just going to.
Mate, I don't even have goals anymore. No. It sounds ridiculous.
No.
But I went through a phase of having I've been like, oh, what is my purpose here and all that kind of stuff. And then I stopped caring about that and just started letting things happen.
Yeah.
And I've actually done some of the maddest things for it.
Your career, you could not really have planned for, could you?
You can't plan. You kind of can't plan it.
Yeah.
I never once thought I had on my image board about being in Barbie or whatever. Yeah. That just happened.
Imagine if
so I was I'm just let Jesus take the wheel and see what happens. I mean, I should plan goals. I should have goals, like broad goals or whatever. But I quite enjoy just going with the flow and seeing what happens.
Yeah.
Do you have any? Do you have
resolutions? No, not really. I mean, no, not really.
This is the exact opposite of a productivity podcast right now. We're basically saying don't make goals.
No,
which is not for everyone. By the way.
Actually think that
make goals if you want to make goals.
I think what we're saying is that people should just do things. Why do you have to wait till January to make something happen? I think
on the resolution topic, just do it whenever it occurs to you.
Yeah. I mean, I said to you about dry. Are you doing dry January? And you said you're not, but you basically haven't really drank much since the summer anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think people take it to extremes. It's like, okay, I'm gonna not drink for an entire month. It's like, why don't you just have a little drink when you want one every now and again all year, and then I don't know,
I think it's a very British mentality, that, isn't it? They're all or nothing.
Yeah.
It's I'm going to go mental in December and then I'm going to do nothing in January.
It just seems
like an unhealthy way to live your life.
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah. Well, I suppose, balance.
British people love to sort of do nothing Monday to Friday, go mental on Saturday, depression on Sunday, and then back to nothing Monday to Friday. That seems to be how we like to live.
And having a month off fixes all that.
Exactly.
Tom, obviously. So,
listen, I'm excited to get into this. We've got some dating dilemmas sent in by some Private Parts listeners.
I love a dilemma.
You seem like a man who will be good.
I don't know if I'll give any helpful advice, but I will certainly
Well, your
try.
Bali trip, I think, has put you in quite a wise position.
Yes, wisdom is what I've gained from that.
For dating.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. There's no names attached to these, probably for a reason.
They're all from me.
Okay, here we go. This is called I Got Ghosted Bad.
Oh.
Which the grammar on that I'm not thrilled with.
Is it comma bad or just I got ghosted bad?
I got ghosted bad. Sounds, yeah. Is it all the way through? Okay. I travelled from Canada to England to see my new English BF, boyfriend, who I'd been chatting to for a few months. Once I arrived at his parents' house, he was nowhere to be seen, and the parents didn't know I even existed, let alone were they expecting me.
No.
I spent New Year's with his parents, and he didn't even bother to call me. What? So this girl has flown over from Canada to England to see her boyfriend. He's not there when she's arrived. His parents don't know she's getting there, and she spent New Year's with his parents.
I'm not equipped to deal with this. What would you mean? I think
I'd just go home.
What? I'm flabbergasted. I'm lost for words. She's gone all the way from Canada to England, and he's not even there.
It says he's not there.
So where is he? Is he down the port?
It doesn't say. Is he on a bender?
Does he exist? Is it like catfish? Is he
catfish? It might be a catfish. It might be a catfish.
AI generated his face and just convinced.
What I like is that the parents just went, oh, well, we just stay if you want. It's fine.
That's lovely,
a random
actually.
girl has turned up at their house.
Well, he must exist then, because obviously he's got parents.
Yeah.
Or maybe...
Quite sweet of the parents.
What if it was like the parents that Catfish pretended that they had a son just to get maybe they're trying to sort out a freeway type thing.
Well, there's been no follow-up email to that.
Swinging vibes.
She might be locked in those parents' basements still.
Oh God, Fritzl vibes.
Okay, I don't know what to think about that one.
That's actually insane. I feel like I need a lot more detail. Has she spoke to him since? Is she must hate him now? Is she still speaking to the parents? Did they have a three-way? These are things we need to know.
Let's reply to that and just put three-way ? And then we'll get a response to that.
Nice.
Okay, this is a good one.
I don't feel like I'm going to be very helpful here.
No, you're going to like this. I met a guy online. He turned up and was a whole foot shorter than his profile said, and at least a decade older. And to top it all off, he was wearing tight white jeans.
It's quite a choice.
So you've got on a date with a guy. He's shorter than he said. He's older than he said.
A foot shorter? Well, I'm so dyslexic. I took that to mean he had one less foot. But he was he was
Well, he had 1 foot.
shorter in height.
He was a foot shorter, which is quite a lot.
What's a foot?
Well, if he said he was 6'1", he was 5'1".
Oh no, that's like
So that's a lot.
Hobbit vibes. Okay,
Yeah, that's quite a big difference.
He's shorter. He's a foot shorter. He's turned up in white jeans
and at least 10 years older than he said he was.
Spray on white jeans.
Yeah.
How old? Right. Okay.
Okay. So that's the start. This is the second part. I had 1 glass of wine to be polite, then made my excuses to leave. But he tried to lunge at me to kiss me open mouthed.
Oh no.
I avoided it and just left. I got a text 5 minutes later saying, "Was it the jeans?" At least
what do
he's
you
self-aware.
say to that? You probably have to say, "Yeah, it was the jeans, mate."
At least he's self-aware.
It's not 2005 anymore. Although I was probably wearing skinny, tight white jeans in the last 5 years or so.
That's great.
Well, better that it's blamed on the jeans than the height. And I'm imagining bald as well. Was he bald?
Well, all it says is he was at least a decade older, so we don't know about that.
Toupee, maybe.
That's
a nightmare situation to be in for anyone. And should that not be illegal?
It should. What I find weird about men lying on their dating profiles is that it is going to come out that you're 5'1".
Well, exactly.
So I don't know what.
It's like
I don't
lying
know,
on your CV.
unless you're planning on having a relationship purely over Zoom, it is going to come out.
Exactly. It's like saying you're a nuclear physician.
Yeah.
Going for a job in nuclear physics, and then day one you're like, "Fuck, guys."
Yeah.
Like, I've lied here. I'm in over my head. This guy literally.
I know.
I don't know. Like, to what end?
I don't know.
Does he just think
maybe
what they're there and charm them?
Yeah, maybe what they're thinking is, I'll just get the date, and then once they're there, I'll put a shift in, and it'll be fine. But I just need to secure the date.
Yeah, I'll convince them when I'm there.
So they literally walk into the bar going, "I know what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking.
Yeah.
Just
bear with me.
Relax.
Give me 5 minutes.
Give me 10 minutes max."
So much pressure on that 5 minutes though to pitch.
Yeah.
But maybe he's thinking that she's doing the same thing. Because maybe that's just the world that we live in now.
Yeah.
We're just all catfishing each other.
Yeah. What's the solution to the catfish problem? I don't know what. Is it that you have to have a photo holding today's newspaper? Or a dating app where you have to upload a new profile photo every day?
Yeah.
And you've got to take it on the camera
every day. That's a good one. No filters.
Have you ever been catfished? Feel like you have and you don't want to talk about it.
No, I catfish people.
Do you?
Yeah.
Because you don't tell them who you are.
No, that would be like a reverse catfish, wouldn't it? I don't know. No, I don't. Have I ever been catfished? I don't think I have. Nah, have I?
Do you find the need since you've been on Love Island and you've been on dating app? Have you been on dating apps since you've been?
No, I've not.
Okay.
No,
so
I came off them all.
I was wondering whether you would feel the need to tell them that before you met up, or just that you'd been on Love Island. I don't know.
It's not like I've got a criminal conviction.
No. I mean,
about it. I'll be honest, guys. I've been to prison.
What I mean is that would they go on a date with you knowing who you were before?
Well, they either know who I am or they don't, and I'd probably have a grasp on that before going on the date.
Yeah,
I like it when they don't.
Yeah,
that's way
what
better.
I mean.
The girl I'm dating at the minute, I'd like no.
So where did you meet her?
She slid.
Did she?
Yeah.
So surely she must have known who you were. She slid into your...
No, I think I did a video with my dog in it, and she liked my dog.
Yeah.
She started off with some dog riz, and it went from there.
And it went well?
Yeah, it was a good... Well, I think she said something like, I think our dogs should be friends. And I was like...
That's quite a good opening line, isn't it?
Well, you're just talking about your dogs, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And are they friends?
No, they've not met yet.
Okay, fine.
But it allows for you to talk hypothetically through the medium of the dogs meeting.
Exactly.
But what you're really in reality, like removing the metaphor, you're actually talking about you two meeting.
Exactly.
So it's nice. You're not being like overt about it.
No, you can sort of talk through dogs.
Smoke and mirrors.
Yeah. Smoke and mirrors.
That's how you do it.
You're gonna like this one. This sounds like the sort of thing you would do. I had a guy invite me to Disneyland, but we weren't exclusive yet. Is this from you?
Replace Disneyland with Bali. It's literally me, isn't it?
I had a guy...
Did he vomit for 7 days straight?
He fell down the stairs. I had a guy invite me to Disneyland, but we weren't exclusive yet. I played it cool, but he would make comments like how great it would be to bring our kids here someday. On the magical bus to the airport, I figured it was safe to ask if we could be exclusive. He freaked out and told me I was rushing things and that he wasn't ready for that. He was living in another city, so we didn't have to fly home together. I never heard from him again.
That is the epitome of mixed messages, isn't it?
It's got to be some sort of
like, what are you doing?
Psychological condition that you will go on holiday with someone, but not say that you want to be exclusive with them.
No, but that's like a next level thing to freak out and then never be seen again.
Yeah.
And just disappear into the shadows of the night.
A lot of these stories are men freaking out and disappearing, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, like, what mechanism is there that's like, right, let's go to Disneyland, but then, like, actually lose your head when you're asked about getting into, like, whoa, calm down, babe.
Were there any discussions
on holiday in Disneyland at all?
Were there any discussions on your Bali trip about exclusivity?
No.
Really?
No. Taking it slow, mate.
Or did you just talk about it purely through the medium of dogs?
Yeah, puppets actually. Yeah, we just mimed it to each other. Shadow puppets is my favourite form of communication.
Yeah, Disneyland. I don't know. Intense.
I don't know what to think about. Like, what is going through that? Did the guy just want a trip to Disneyland he had no one to go with?
Potentially, yeah, potentially. Which, if that is what happened, then it worked.
It is the most magical place on earth. Like, I kind of don't blame the guy for wanting
Disneyland.
You don't want to go on your own. You
can't go on your own. I don't think they sell single tickets.
I'm imagining this man is like, what, mid-20s, 30? You can't be a single mid-20s, 30-year-old man and go to Disneyland on your own, because that will get you on a list.
I think it will. I think some sort of French police would be alerted.
Yeah, you need a child or you need a partner.
Yeah, even if it were you two blokes, just mates going, that would ring alarm bells.
Yes, it would, exactly.
You either have to be in a romantic relationship or with a child.
Yeah.
Fact. If anyone's listening and thinking of going to Disneyland.
Yeah.
Okay, we got one more. This is more of a confession than a question, but I need someone to hear this story. Me and my friend were playing around on Photoshop and decided it would be funny to slightly enlarge my friend's nose on all of our lads' holiday photos. I sent the photos into the group chat and soon after forgot about it. A couple of weeks went by and we made plans to meet up as a group. Lo and behold, this one friend walks through the door with the biggest, blackest eyes I've ever seen. When I asked what happened, he told me he'd been considering it for ages and finally decided to get a nose job. Me and my Photoshop friend haven't mentioned it since, and I don't really know where to go from here. I can't help but feel my Photoshop pictures pushed him over the edge. Do I tell the friend or do I stay silent? That is a lot to unpack, isn't it?
Such an innocent prank gone so horrendously wrong.
So they've made his nose look bigger, and it's made him so self-conscious he's gone and had a nose job.
I don't know how you're looking that friend in the eye after that. Like, I don't know, because that's quite funny.
Yeah,
but like, the lengths he's gone to is not. Like, I wouldn't know. I could never bring that up because I'd be like, I wouldn't know how to start apologising about that.
Surely the friend was thinking about a nose. Well, he says he was thinking about a nose job before.
Yeah. But
so maybe they've just given him the confidence to do it, or the bullying to do it.
There's two ways of looking at it. Yeah, it's either bullying or confidence boost. I'd say probably more
bullying.
Well, if we think about this like crime, there was no intent there for him to get a nose job.
It's manslaughter.
So it's manslaughter.
It's
the manslaughter version of a nose job.
But manslaughter still carries a prison sentence.
You're correct, actually, Tom. Yeah.
It's not as big.
What would you do in that? Would you tell your mate?
I think I'd have to say something. Yeah. Yeah.
But like, it really depends. Like, I don't know enough about
what you might be able to do.
How they're going to react.
What you might be able to do if you are going to tell them is just start the conversation by telling them how happy you are that they've done that and how great you think they look.
Yeah, I'm so happy you got a nose job because your previous nose was shit.
Well,
what do you mean?
No, just say like, I'm happy you had the confidence to do that, and I'm happy that you're...
Oh, so you're basically gaslighting the situation.
Yeah.
Wherever did you get the confidence to get that rhinoplasty? You really must have dug deep to pull that one out of the bag. But it looks great on you. I'm so glad you did it.
Have any of your mates had nose jobs? And how was the conversation around that?
Whilst I've known them? No, not whilst I've known them.
I don't have any mates who've had nose jobs either.
major surgery.
It is, yeah. It's a big
like
deal.
A proper one.
I've got friends who've had their noses broken when they were younger, and they've just left them broken.
Yeah.
So they would be on the, you know.
Are you suggesting like?
No, but if anyone was going to have it done
over a pint, bro, your nose is
they could have it done, but also they don't care, so that's fine.
Yeah. No, it's just part of the charm by this point. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's a big
serious
thing to
operation,
do.
Isn't it?
I don't know if I could admit that to my friend because I'd like, but
You'd
then
feel
I'd
bad
also
about
feel
that.
eternal guilt for like potentially causing it.
Yeah.
So I've got no advice, as we probably would have assumed before we started this. A few comments there though.
So the advice there is just make new friends.
Go back in time.
Make new friends.
I don't know. Learn to deal with the guilt.
Are you the sort of person who can? This is quite a deep question, but if you had a secret, could you live with that forever, or would you have to tell them at some point?
A secret, like,
if you
were in that friend?
Yeah, if you were in that situation, would you be able to live with that secret?
Yeah, but it'd be like deathbed. Like, I'd say it on my deathbed.
Would you?
Yeah.
Like 50 years later?
Yeah. And I'd hope that it was actually my deathbed and not just like a faux deathbed.
Yeah. And
then I've got to live with it, or like I've got to see him next week. It's like, so when you say bye to somebody, then you see him again, you're like, fuck's sake. So awkward. I've got to do it again.
So you tell them that you did that, and then the doctor would come in and go, "Oh my god, we've just realised we can keep you alive."
I think I'd fake.
And then
maybe
you just
I'd
rip
fake
the plug out yourself.
Even if I didn't die, maybe I think after that I'd fake my own death. Yeah, just to get out of the situation.
That's good advice.
If it was a really close friend and I'd done something like that, like really bad, that's irreversible.
It is irreversible. Because they have those bandages on their noses for ages.
It's like, it doesn't fully heal for a year. It's a painful thing.
Is it a year?
Yeah, and they have like black eyes and that. Mind you, like at the end of the day, the guy's probably happy he's had it done. If he didn't like his nose,
can we get a photo? Can we get the 2 photos sent in? Can we get the before and after?
I'd quite like to see it.
I'd like to see it.
Because then we know whether they've done a good thing or a bad thing. If it was like a minor
thing.
problem, but you don't know how people look at themselves through the mirror, innit? Do you know what I mean? You don't know how people see themselves.
Yeah.
Because I often look in the mirror and I'm like, do people see what I see in the mirror? Do you know when you get...
What do you see?
Well, do you know when you open your phone, right? And it's the reverse camera and your face is flipped?
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, fuck me, I'm ugly. And then I think, is that how people see me?
But isn't there like a psychological thing that you physically can't see yourself how other people see you?
Yeah, I've heard
like
a load of bollocks
your
about
brain
this.
Won't allow you to look at yourself.
Apparently, you're like there's a percentage less attractive than what you are and what you see in the mirror. I think you see like the supreme version of yourself in the mirror, and then like, other people see like something that's like 20% less or something like that. You're 20% worse looking than you think you are, or something like that, which is terrible news.
Is that theory? That's
terrible
terrifying.
News.
Fucking hell! What a way to end.
Yeah, are we ending? Oh, we can't end on that. I know what we can end on. I've got a good fact. Billy goats do wee on their own head to make themselves more attractive to the opposite sex.
Okay. Say that. Wait, break that down for me. Say it again, slower.
Billy goats
piss
on their own heads.
How?
Angles.
Well, they lie down and they piss up.
I actually have no idea how they do it. I've not been sticking that into
because they're not pissing into cups and holding it over their head. Are they?
No, they're not. I think maybe like they're weeing. Maybe they can wee directly on their head, or they're weeing somewhere and then just rubbing their head in it.
To make themselves look.
Appear more attractive. It's like pheromones in it. Appear more attractive to the opposite.
Wow.
Gender, and then they, I don't know, have like pissy donkey sex or something. That's how they finish it off.
Pissy donkey sex is how we're
going to end. I feel like
that's
a better way to end.
That's how we're going to end, isn't it?
We were going to end.
We're going to call this episode Pissy Donkey Sex, just because it will get people intrigued. And then they'll listen to the whole thing and they'll go, why is it called Pissy Donkey Sex?
5 seconds.
And then right at the end, it'll be a little Easter egg for the people who've made it to the end.
Definition of clickbaiting.
People who've made it right to the end. Chris, thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Dancing on Ice, Sunday night.
Watch it.
What time? ITV.
I really should know the time of it, shouldn't I? I'll be there from like midday. So you guys turn up whenever you like.
So it's any time between
I think it's like
midday.
7 or 8.
That sounds about right. It'll be any time between midday and midnight on Sunday.
Yeah.
ITV. I want you to win. I think you're going to win, Chris.
And it's the first really?
I think you're going to win.
And
I think when you do,
misplaced confidence.
I think when you do win, you should come back and we'll talk about it.
Okay.
In your skates.
What if I don't win? Will I not be invited back?
Well, you're not allowed back.
Okay. That'll be sad.
Thanks for coming on. It's been so fun.
Thanks for having me. I've really enjoyed it.
We will be back next week with another episode of Private Parts. See you then.